Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of The HOHs. I'm your host today, Keoe, and with me I have Tylah.
Hi everyone, I'm Tylah. I am from California. It's definitely like,
What is your year and your major?
I am a fourth year mechanical engineer with an option in product design and manufacturing.
And why did you choose OSU?
I chose Oregon State because of the engineering program, first of all. I wanted to get out of California, have a new variety of what life would be outside of that. So it's been fun.
So what has been the main difference that you've seen from coming from California and then coming to school in Oregon?
I would definitely say that the people are definitely different.
In what way?
I would say a lot of people are nicer. It was a big shock to me that people would actually come up to you and smile and wave as you're walking down the street. I never get that, especially living in Southern California. A lot of people just are to themselves a lot more, and you kind of don't know how people are going to react and move, so you're kind of just more to yourself. But I would say people are nicer. People also ask definitely a lot of personal questions just right off the bat, and sometimes I don't know how to react to that because people like I said are just to themselves. So I would say that is very much a culture shock, and I would say having a lot more white people is definitely a culture shock to me. Not seeing a lot of people that are POC or just black in general. It was definitely really shocking.
I mean, I also think coming to a very college town feel kind of city that we're in Corvallis, and just being on campus in general, people are a lot more, they're trying to be outgoing and meet other people, because you meet people from all over the country, or literally all over the world too. So I feel like people are putting themselves out there, which is probably adding on to the aspect of why people are more asking you questions if you're just walking past them on the street. But maybe it's just an Oregon thing too.
It could be just an Oregon thing. I don't know. I know that my roommate, one of my roommates is from Oregon. He's from Eugene, so he's kind of taught me a lot of the things that isn't normal for Oregon, and it just throws me off, because I'm that is not normal for me. Or he's there's a saying keep Oregon weird, and I'm that's a thing.
It is. Yes.
And then he's telling me there's certain areas I shouldn't go, because if you go to south or you go to east, those are the bad parts of the redneck. And I'm oh,
so I'm gonna stay over here.
Stay here. Even coming to a small town though was actually really shocking too, because coming from LA, that's such a big city and so broad. LA is just so big, and there's you have to specify even down further where specifically from in LA. I'm sure with Hawaii, people are oh, where in Hawaii do you live?
I'm from Honolulu, but then you can break it. There's so many other small places in that big city.
Exactly.
So I relate.
Right? That's what I'm saying. People are just people who don't know, from California, they'll be oh, where are you from? And I'm oh, LA. They're oh my God, how cool.
I think you're in the city.
Well, no, but well, where are you from? In LA. And I'm Sherman Oaks. And then they'll be look at me funny. And that's why I don't normally tell people where I'm from, because they're where's that? And then I'll be I'll either say it's 15, 20 minutes away from Beverly Hills, or I'll say oh, I'm 20 minutes away from Santa Monica, because somehow people know where Santa Monica Beach is. Or oh, they'll be oh, are you far from Disneyland and stuff? I'll be Disneyland's 45 minutes to an hour
the stereotypes that come with living in California or by LA. They assume.
Yeah, a lot of people assume that I'm rich too. That is the first thing, and that's kind of why I don't like telling people I'm from LA, because they'll be oh my God, all the famous people, which is not necessarily true. I know certain people just because of maybe we're school wise or whatever, but doesn't necessarily mean I have the money. I would say I'm middle class.
You just lived a normal life. You were just there.
Yeah,
you didn't choose to be in LA.
I know. Which I wouldn't. The traffic, bad. You have to leave at least an hour and a half before you even need to get somewhere, because the traffic, you'll be sitting in it for
That's
a couple
crazy.
Hours. Yeah, I know it takes 30 minutes to get around the whole island?
No, not 30 minutes. Maybe 30 minutes. If I go from town to the windward side to like Kailua, that's maybe 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And that's only going from the south end to the east side. So going around the whole island, if you continue driving.
Yeah. Has anyone done it before?
Oh, 100%, probably. I don't know, maybe like 2 hours. If you're like going at a mellow pace.
That's not bad though.
Yeah, if you're like sightseeing, like looking outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds peaceful though. Like,
yeah. But traffic, I mean, it's definitely not as bad as LA.
It was pretty bad when I went though.
Yeah. People are also crazy drivers.
In California, it's like everyone was always super scared of like the, what is it? I think we have like 6 lanes, 7 lanes or something.
Yeah.
People are like, oh my God, you do that? I'm like, like, I would say to put your mind at ease, like it's the easiest thing. It's just extra lanes. Like it creates more space so that you can be in the lanes that like are going a little slower.
That's true. That's true.
It's not as
There's
bad
more
as
of a
people
gradient
think.
between the lanes.
It's not as bad as people think. Like people think, oh my God, more lanes means more cars and more merging. Not necessarily. Like if you're staying in the same lane and then you want to merge, you just have to you have to just know how to be defensive and aggressive at the same time. And that's something that's like really hard. Like I'm glad I did not take my driver's test in LA because I probably would have failed.
Yeah.
Like it's like really scary. Like you have to be careful of the way you drive too. Like especially like you cannot, like I try not to have so much road rage, but when I'm home, comes out sometimes.
It happens. People are silly drivers.
Yeah, well, and you have to be careful. Like my mom told me, I think once, well, I was here and then I came back for like winter break. I think this was just like a year ago. She was telling me like not to like flip people off or like honk at them because
people are crazy now.
Yeah, well, because apparently my mom's coworker's friend, her daughter was like driving and this guy cut her off and she like honked at him and like as like pulled to the side like and like was next to him and like looked at him and he shot her point blank in the head. Yeah.
That's
and then she was like I don't know if she passed away. I forgot to ask my mom, but yeah, she was like on life support.
That's insane.
So my mom was like, you need to be careful. I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
Nowadays you never know.
So now I just scream a song.
Yeah,
you just like,
yeah. You just keep on driving. You
pretty
can
much
scream about it later.
Yeah, I just try to be really, really careful because like a lot of people just don't care, and like most times they don't catch that person.
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, they're gonna probably drive off really fast, and what if people didn't see?
Yeah.
Like also a lot of people are like, you know, the like snitches get stitches.
Yeah.
That still goes like for adults, like just people in general. Like a lot of people like don't want to like end up saying anything because they don't want to like get hurt or something.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is sad to me. Like. I'm like, what happened to actually like having good conscience, good morals?
I know. Everybody, let's relax.
Just a little bit.
You're just trying to get from point A to point B. Like it doesn't have to be that hard.
In 2 hours of traffic, just sitting there.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen the TikToks where Elmo's driving?
Yes.
That is literally people in LA. Kid you not. That's me. Him like yelling, like, watch where you're going. Yeah, that's me.
But I honestly feel like driving in the mainland is easier than driving in Hawaii. Because first of all, your guys' roads are way better than ours. Ours, there's a pothole every second.
Are you kidding me? In LA, there's always a pothole. They need to fix.
No, ours is bad. Like
okay,
it's
you might have me there.
They're like huge. Like it's a whole like I don't know. You can go swim in that pothole. Like it's so bad. And then I found out, or like I think everybody knows that our like on ramps and off ramps are opposite. So we have an on ramp first, then the off ramp. Whereas like on the mainline, it's off and then on, right?
Oh,
which makes sense.
Yeah, Macy asked me that too.
Yeah,
she was like, "Don't you guys like?" She was like, "Can't you guys like get off and like on like different sides?" And I was like thinking about it. I was like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Yeah, it's different."
Yeah, ours is just stupid, which causes more traffic, which is why it sucks to drive in Hawaii. And like you're also not on the highway or the freeway for that long.
Well, because doesn't it end? It ends up becoming like a road.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
that
like,
was.
You can't go that far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's cool though. But I feel like it's probably more traffic because it gets like one road that's going one way.
And we're trying to merge into like a couple lanes.
Yeah. No, that was the same I think when we were going to Waimea.
Over there, like driving North Shore, it's just one lane.
Yeah, North Shore. But it was so beautiful like seeing it.
It is
and
nice,
stuff.
yeah.
Because it was like me, Macy, and Kaha when we went.
Yeah.
It was so nice.
Yeah.
But it was like, there was a lot of traffic. But it was pretty seeing everything. It was so nice. But I know like the waves, it was like, when I went, it was like pretty calm too.
Yeah. I think the time that you went was like a good time.
Really?
But the reason for the traffic is like the tourist. Because now, I mean, it's so popular, like North Shore. Everybody knows like when you come to Hawaii, you gotta go north, especially to like Waimea and everything like that. So.
Isn't it more expensive in Waimea now?
Probably. Probably everything, like everything in Hawaii is expensive.
It's just sad that like now, like it's a lot of the people who are like native Hawaiians and stuff like have to leave. Like it's so sad to me to hear that, like, and like even with everything that was happening in Maui too, like just people like saying like they still wanted to go on their trips and stuff. Like it just made me sick. Like my mom and I were talking about it. I'm just like I even felt bad. Like I was like, should I even be going on my trip? Like I was like, Macy was like, no, it's fine. I was like, I feel really bad. Like and I still like donated as much as I could and stuff.
The main thing I think is just awareness is what like locals are concerned about. It's knowing where to go and like being respectful of the place and the people.
Yeah. Like
the main concern for those tourists who didn't care at all about like what just happened to Lahaina is that it was very ignorant of them to act like nothing happened, like, oh, this is my vacation, like it just got ruined. Like, I'm sorry that this whole town just burned down. I'm so sorry that it affected your trip, but people just lost everything. So let's, so. I
know, and I'm sure that was like, how was that with you guys? Like, I know as like being outsider, like being from like the mainland and everything, like for me, I know that like hurt, but like how did that hurt for like you guys, like the people who live like in Hawaii?
I mean, it's definitely, so I would say of the locals, there's two sides to it. There's those who were directly affected by Lahaina, who either had, family members who are a part of, who lived in Lahaina or lived in Lahaina themselves, or had some deep attachment to that place. They obviously felt it the hardest, and I can't speak for their experiences. Like, one of our alumni, Jasmine, she graduated 2 years ago, but her boyfriend, Kaimi, was in Ho'ike last year. Yeah. But she is from Lahaina. Like, born and raised, went to school there, had all her family over there, and, like, she lost her home.
Wow.
So for that, I can just imagine how hard that is and how, like, literally everything you've ever known is up in flames.
Yeah.
And that's something that's very hard to recover from. And speaking from somebody who's not from Lahaina and had to witness that, but still being like Native Hawaiian or like someone who was born and raised in Hawaii, it's still like devastating.
Yeah.
Because there's so much history that comes with those places, and Hawaii in general is a big community, like amongst our locals. So if like one island is hurting, we're all hurting.
Yeah.
That's why I'm grateful that we had a Maui donation drive up here, and people all around Hawaii like band together to help and support in whatever way.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very unfortunate event that happened, but it woke us all up, and I think it made the bond between people stronger because you're in a very desperate and vulnerable, like, it's a very vulnerable time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so. that is really deep. Like, I've never really asked you guys that. Like, I've always wanted to, like, like, not to compare issues, but, like, like, the BLM movement and everything. Yeah. Like, I feel like with everything that happened with Lahaina, I feel like people, in a way, are forgetting. Like, I know that, like, it's still pretty recent, and like they're still struggling.
Yeah.
But like I feel like people like posted about it just like to show awareness, but then like kind of in a way forgot about it. And now it's the same with like the BLM movement. Like it was more like, oh, everyone else is posting, let me show my support.
Just because it's the trend at the time.
Right.
Which is unfortunate.
It is. It's sad. Like they're always gonna for a long time gonna be rebuilding and restructuring, but like, and I'm sure there's deep parts of them that will like never recover from that because like you said, there's a lot of history there, so like a lot of that is gone, and those things you can't get back, and you do have to just sadly rebuild. And move forward. But like honestly, how do you move forward from something like that? Like how do you
exactly? It's a long process. Like we will, like for any like major event, like what we have both experienced in both of our communities, it's not something that you can fully recover from.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be a part of history forever, and the community is forever changed by it. So yeah.
It just sucks. It's not fair. And it's so hard. Like I wish more people understood that. Like I love that different POC, like especially here, like everyone is, because we're all so small, like we all are so like together and try to be like, I know that we all have our issues, but
for the most part,
we try to like all be a community. Like if someone really needed help, like we'd drop anything and be like, okay, I'm gonna be here for you. It doesn't matter if you're the same culture, same whatever as me, like I will help you. Like if we're friends, I will help you through and through. And like I just wish more people saw that. Like it doesn't matter sometimes your skin tone or like where you came from, but like 100%. But it's like the people who like are POC understand that, like they understand the struggle and like feeling different. And because like even back home, there's still to this day, there's one lady that is like by my house. She's like, there's like a little mall, and since 2020, like she's had to stand. It's like she's done a whole like project, a whole movement for like Black Lives Matter and stuff, and she sits on that corner and has done this for the past now like 4 years. Every time I go home, she's still in that corner holding her signs. Like there was a lot of people at first, but then people started going back to work, but she is still out there to this day supporting, and we all honk and support and like try our best. Like she was out there through and through no matter what.
That's crazy.
I know. So it's like, it's the fact that like people like that, like they still show their support. Like I'll see even just like people like in the community, like just white people that understand that, like in California, they will stand out there too with her. Like
there are those who truly like believe like and support in any way that they can.
And I even saw that for like Lahaina. I saw people literally flying in. Like I knew like a few, like my mom said like some of like her coworkers, like their families, like that like I know one of her coworkers, like he got married there, and he was like, me and a couple buddies are gonna try to go and like go over there and like fly over there. And so I don't know if they did or not, but like I know there was people who did go over just to help. Like they were like, I'm paying so I can help, like not for a trip, but like to help them. Or like I know like firefighters even from California that like flew in and went to help as well. So it was just really cool like to see people like realizing like this is bigger than us and we need to go and help and do this.
Especially like if you ever visited on your own, like at for a vacation or like for a wedding or whatever, like just going to go, you have some connection to that place now. Like there's a lot of memories associated with that. So not that you should feel like you have to give something, but just acknowledging that it was an important place to everybody who got to be there, and like just supporting those who suffered through that.
No, it's really cool though, just to see that, like the community and everything. It's crazy.
But definitely I feel like at OSU they do a pretty good job at supporting like POC communities, especially with like our cultural centers, which is something that not a lot of universities have, or it's like maybe one for just, you know, POC in general. Whereas like we have 7 for specific communities, but it's not like it's restricted to people from that background or culture.
No, that's I totally forgot about that. But even in California, I don't even think there's a lot of different schools. Like I know one of my good friends, she goes to school up north at St. Mary's, and like when I was there at her school, like they had like one big like it looked like cultural center, and it also did like the like LGBTQ community was in there too. And I was like, oh my god, I'm used to having different cultural centers like going in, and so it's crazy to me to see that like a lot of schools don't do that.
Which I think they need to.
I think so too. Like to have people feel like they can have a safe space and not just one area they can just be safe. Like we have Seoul, we have the Black Culture Center, we have
Asian Pacific,
right? We have Inaha House. Like we have so many. There's even some that I've never even been to. Like I'm just like, oh my god.
And they all have like great resources, and like honestly, anybody can go in And they all host events.
All the time.
Yeah, which are fun.
They are fun, especially every year when they do the salmon bake.
Yes.
Oh my god! And then people lined up around the corner.
Yeah, and they try to go for like round 2 in the line.
And I'm like, hold your roll.
Like, girl, wait till I get my plate
right?
first.
Well, last year I actually had to wait because they were like still cooking. I was like, I have to wait for it. Like, I didn't
go to class.
Like, literally, yeah, it was class. That was the thing. Like, I was next in line. They were like, yeah, you gotta wait. I was like, how long? 15, 20 minutes. I was like, oh my god. Okay. So I got the hungry.
Yeah.
I just want some food. I'm a poor college student.
Thank you for the free food.
Thank you.
That's why I appreciate all the events. Most of them have free food.
Right? I know a lot of the Black cultural events, like a lot of people don't realize, but we had good food. There was like last week we did a Black and event, and it was with NAACP, which is like through the community and stuff. And so I had a couple friends that are like on the board of it, and so I went, and it was talking about like we got to sit down and explain like kind of our struggles, like different people. Like there was one girl who's from South Africa, who's there and speaking how she felt about being here and just being in a different country. Like
I can't imagine being an international student.
I know, I couldn't either. Like she was talking about like the language barrier. Like she said she has to change her accent so people understand her better, or like she's like one of the only Black girls in like her community, or like being African in her like classes and stuff.
Yeah.
And so like she was talking about like just the struggles of going through that and everything, and it's hard. Like sometimes like I've even experienced that. Like I'm the only girl in my engineering classes, like especially being Black. I'll look around, maybe about like 9 other girls, and none of them are Black. Like it's insane to me, like the difference, the culture difference of everything, and just being a part of like certain events like these, like having it be Black History Month and we put on all these events, and but it's cool to see like those things going on, but not a lot of people know about them because like if you don't follow obviously the social media accounts and stuff, you don't see that as much.
Yeah, but I'm glad that they do host those events. Like those are very important for you folks to have that safe space with each other to talk through it, because everybody goes through it to some degree, whether you think it's extreme or not. Like there's at least one other person who can relate to what you are going through.
Yeah, especially like sometimes the racism, like that is a big shock. I think is like when it comes to people being bold, like just the things you hear or like the things you see, and you're just like you don't even know sometimes how to react to it.
Yeah. Like
I remember it was like me and like Amir, Derek, Kenny. There was a couple other. It was like all of us, all the Black community, and we were like at a party, and there was like some guy that was like really drunk and started calling one of like Derek and E's friends, kept saying the N-word and kept saying like with the hard ER, and they were all getting really, really upset, and they were like, yeah, you need to chill out, like this is not cool. Yeah. And he kept saying, then one of his other friends kept joining in, and like a fight almost broke out, and there was like this one white girl that was like, hey, I want to let you know, like there are cops down the street, like for your guys' safety, you guys should probably go. Like she, in that moment, she actually saved us. Like I genuinely think that if it kept going on, I don't know who would have held them back, because all the boys, like some of the boys were trying to push the other boys away, and then they were getting upset, so it turned and I was like, I'm like one of the only girls, so I was like, there's no way I can bring. It was just so much chaos, and I was like, this isn't gonna end well. Like, and he thought he was cool saying it, like thought he was, and it's like, it's just stuff like that where I'm just like, you are saying that to the wrong people right now, like, and you're thinking like you're high and mighty, like that is not something like I've really experienced. Like I think in California, like people said it and then gotten probably like hit or something, and then they've never said anything again.
They just, I feel like a lot of people just haven't been exposed to it firsthand. So this is their first experience ever, like in college, and like being out and being drunk is not a good first time to do that, but yeah, I mean, college is an experience, and you're doing things for the first time. So since you are in your 4th year, do you have any advice for people who are thinking about coming to OSU or college in general, or in their first year?
I would say do a lot of your research. Definitely research. definitely come and visit too. Like that's what I did. I came and visit, and I was like, oh my god, this is a little vibey. I was like, okay, it's small little town.
It's giving very it's like stereotypical college vibes.
Yes.
At OSU.
Yes. Like it was just so cool to like see like kind of the beauty. Like in California, there's so much pollution, and so kid you not, when I go back home, I'm like, it smells so bad here. And then I get in the
breathe over here.
I can't. I'm like, I get in the car from the airport. I'm like, I'll relax. Hey, Mom. And my mom's over here honking at people, yelling at them, cussing at them. I'm like, and we're done. And I'm back. and then my roommates come back like this, and I'm like, here we go. Being here, I feel so at peace. Like I can just chill, and it's so safe. Like I will still watch my back everywhere I go, but like it's just different. Like, and I've realized that people here, it's different for them. Like they don't lock their car doors half the time. Don't lock their doors at their house.
I think it's all college kids around in Corvallis, so I feel like I don't know. We're just trying to help each other out for the most part.
Oh yeah. Oh, and definitely the Roomie app. I don't know if they still do that. Like when you come here for the dorms. There's like that, like meet roomies or like room sync or something. Not room sync, that's for the retreat. But
they have like the thing where you have to fill out a survey about your living preferences and habits.
Yeah.
And then like compatibility scores.
Yeah,
they have that.
But like doing that, I think they should people should keep doing that. But just coming here, do your research. Like if you know anyone who's here, I would say definitely ask them. Like, and just like try to go to the dorms first, because that's how you can meet all your friends, and then slowly but surely you'll meet more people.
Yeah, but do your research.
Yeah, please do your research because, God, you don't want to come in for a surprise, and you don't want to end up somewhere that you weren't supposed to be. Like you don't want to like end up somewhere like around town that you're like, where am I? Like, what am I doing here?
Yeah, be safe out there.
Yes, be smart.
Do your research.
Agreed.
Yeah, but we are coming to the end of our episode today. So thank you, Tylah, for joining me.
Of course.
And we will see you all on the next episode. Bye.